Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Preston from Up in the Air. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder that if you do enjoy any of the content you see on this channel, give us a quick subscribe. Anyways, let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? This is Preston.
This is Hunter.
This is Ethan.
And this is Season 2, Episode 7 of Up in the Air, where we're bringing gaffs, laughs, tracks of gaff tape, and rolls of
Smack tape.
smack.
Yes.
We got smack.
Oh, don't know. Hey, cut that shit out. We don't have.
We
We
do
don't.
not have smack.
We don't
We
have
got plenty of
smack.
smack here.
Hey, we don't have smack.
We sell it at Pekin
No.
Community High School.
No.
No smack?
No smack.
All right. Anyways, we're gonna be getting into it hardcore today. We're talking about Project refreshing the Artichoke.
Project Artichoke.
No one likes an artichoke, dude. That's the thing.
Honestly,
about this.
I just want to look up a picture of an artichoke because I don't think I've ever seen one.
We're talking fat gaffs on the new newly released Modern Warfare beta that just came out.
The fuck do you even use an artichoke for?
Eat it. You put it in stuff.
And while my cohorts are talking about artichokes, we're also going to be talking about It Chapter 2 and what we thought about it. There's two people at the table with same opinion, and we also have our differing opinion. Ethan Grimm here with us today. So, you're looking at pictures of artichokes. I hope you're ready.
Yes, I am.
Let's fuck it up. Project Artichoke, Ethan, and split it.
Alrighty, so we're going to start off by talking about the project that preceded Project Artichoke, and this is called Project Bluebird. And if you want to look into this, which I
Go
highly...
fuck yourself.
No, I highly suggest you look into this on your own time. The papers were approved for release and open to the public since January 29th of 2004. And Project Bluebird took place during the 1950s, and it was an attempt by the CIA to provide the immediate establishment of interrogation teams for the operational support of OSO and OPC activities. The teams will utilize the polygraph system, drugs, and hypnotism to attain the greatest results in interrogation techniques.
Now, a little rundown. So we've talked about so far. We've talked about babies getting experimented on radiation with the CIA.
Yes.
We've talked about internal womb testing, blah blah blah, done by the CIA and the fucking Atomic Energy Commission and whatnot.
Yeah, and then we talked about the early 2000s CIA Project Chatter.
Yeah, the enhanced interrogation experiment.
Or not, that wasn't called Project Chatter. I forget what it was called.
Regardless, and then we're talking about fucking hypnotism.
Mm-hmm.
Used as a
Interrogation technique.
Did it garner results?
We'll talk about that a little bit.
Magic.
Keep it rolling then.
Dude, that's fucking like when we look back on it now, we're like, man, these people were really fucking stupid. Like, you really thought we could fucking hypnotize people? Really?
I mean, hey man.
Really?
What did we? I mean, I think we made the point earlier. It's like, where were we at with medicine? You know.
Oh, in the 1950s?
Well, no, like just in times passing. Like this is like the relative
yeah.
early part of the organization's life.
All I'm saying is, you dangle a big juicy bacon cheeseburger in front of my face and swing it around a little bit.
You're
I'll tell you whatever the
hypnotized.
fuck you want to know.
Yeah,
As long as I get that cheeseburger afterwards.
dude.
If you look up,
Sponsored by Mickey D's, Ronald McDuckfuck.
and here's something I thought was interesting when I was trying to look up Project Bluebird.
Redacted.
Well, kind of. It's almost like, so when you look up Project Bluebird, you're not really going to find much on Project Bluebird. You'll find the released documents. Like, these were all confidential documents that were fully released in the early 2004, but that's about the only thing you'll find. Like, you won't find many news articles on Project Bluebird. You won't find like, a lot of people aren't talking about it. But what I thought was interesting was when you look up Project Bluebird, a lot of MK Ultra stuff comes up. And so what I thought was interesting is apparently Project Bluebird was used as an introduction to the idea of MK Ultra.
Okay.
So these, like,
So what I'm hearing next week, you're covering MK Ultra.
Maybe, I don't know. I've kind of wanted to keep. I don't know if I even want to touch on that, just because there's been a lot of people who've talked about that over the years. You know, it's pretty already like widespread. A lot of people know about it. But a lot of people don't know about the smaller things, the things that led to all these other big projects. And I think there's like more fucked up shit happened in these small side projects that nobody knows about, but they got released to the.
Excuse you, baby.
Yeah, excuse me. So yeah, if you ever look it up, you'll more than likely find a lot more stuff on MK Ultra. But back to what we're here to talk about, which is, in fact,
Project Artichoke.
Project Artichoke.
Project Artichoke.
So here is why we talked about Project Bluebird. Project Artichoke comes into play when they rename Project Bluebird to Project Artichoke. Project Artichoke is then transformed into a much bigger idea, and what they did was they used Project Artichoke as a way to find mind control, and they used it as a mind control program that was a joint effort between the Army, Navy, Air Force, FBI, and the CIA.
So, just to clarify, Bluebird and Artichoke are one and the same thing, just different. They just renamed it.
I think
Yes,
it was
they
a
renamed it and
developing
evolved it.
project.
Okay.
Yeah, developing project.
Exactly.
Can you imagine a couple guys sitting at a table in a room? They're like, this Bluebird shit's way too obvious. People are going to catch on. That one dude in the back is like, Artichoke? Like, yes, that's the one.
Dude, I really want to know their naming methods. What the fuck? Like,
Well, here's something I get. Like, I noticed. So, like, here comes the Jetsons, right?
yeah.
It's like old cartoon show focused with like futuristic ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Why were we just fucking stuck like 40s to 60s? We're like all booming and bustling, you know, and we're running around. Everyone's like fucking hypnotized by flying cars and like free energy and blah blah blah. And then we got our government doing fucking mind control. What the
Literally.
Dude,
fuck?
I think it's
Literally.
just I think it just comes with the generations. Like they just figure out what people like want to see. Because like nowadays, everything is for like pop culture is like apocalypse and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like people want
Like-
to see the end of everything.
Yeah, I guess whenever we see the future being portrayed now, it's just like
Shit.
shit. People stacked
Literally.
on
Back
what.
then,
Everyone
it was-
just expects. Everyone just expects
It was
the
so
world to
happy
turn to
back
shit.
then.
And now we're like, yeah, we know.
everything's happening. It's so great. And now we're here and we're like, well, we're all gonna fucking die in a couple years.
Seriously, the most accurate depiction of the future is fucking Ready Player One, dude. I swear to God,
Yes,
we're all gonna
Oh,
just
I
be
bet.
stacked on one another.
Did you end up watching
eventually.
it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Okay.
that
It was
movie
real good.
absolutely one of my top 10 favorite movies
It's a
of
very
all
good
time.
movie.
Shout
Very
out,
good
shout
movie.
out to Player One.
Okay, anyways, back on topic. By using the intelligence divisions of each sector, they could keep all the information compartmentalized so no one person would know everything about the program except the people green-lighting the work and shelling out cash for the experiments.
Ah.
We love us a privatized experiment.
Yeah, and you'll notice a lot that's a very reoccurring thing with the U.S. government. They really like to keep all, like, only certain people can know certain things. Like, they really like to compartmentalize everything.
You know, in I don't know if this is like true fact, but this could be just like it totally makes sense. If there's like if a secret government project is going on, they'll intentionally place like files with folders and shit with shit that's not true to
Really?
identify whistleblowers.
Damn.
Oh, that's
a good
actually
idea, though.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Wouldn't that be fucking crazy if you read some crazy shit and then you were like, I'm gonna whistleblow, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
first of all,
It
it
was
wasn't
you."
it wasn't fucking real. We knew it was you, and you're fucking dead now. Like, how does it?
Yeah.
Like,
You're fucked.
you're fucked. Hey,
they're-
you're fucked.
Their diversionary tactics are much better than their naming ones.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh man.
Okay, so the whole scope of the project was summed up in a memo saying, "Can
Memo.
we?" Yes, this is a memo that's straight from the released papers, and it says, "Can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation?" And this memo came out in January of 1952.
That sounds like some shit like straight out of the words of a villain from a comic book.
Literally, like that
Can
sounds
we
like
control-
that sounds like some communism level
Just
shit
say,
right there.
if that's a legit scientist saying that, that's fucking terrifying. Because if a scientist would know that every person just you break them down so much, but their self-preservation will never leave. And if they're trying to break someone's self-fucking preservation, that's like suicide bombing. Like their religion
Literally.
is broken self-preservation.
That's the first thing that comes to my head when I think about that too. Is Japanese suicide bombers.
Yeah, all of them, but especially man, fly your airplane through a ship. Damn.
That's like
They've really programmed some shit into you at that point.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I mean yeah. Yes.
I don't even because that was part of their whole like I'd rather kill myself than get killed by the enemy sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it's that, and they'd rather die than lose.
Yes.
well,
they
fuck.
would.
And funny enough, they don't really know how to win. So
Oh
They're-
sorry about that.
Roasted.
Don't at me, okay?
So, Project Artichoke carried out in-house and overseas experiments using LSD, hypnosis, and total isolation as a form of
That'll do it.
physiological harassment for special interrogations on human subjects.
Sounds like a party.
Fuck yeah, dude. At first, when the program started, agents were using a variety of drugs, which includes cocaine, marijuana, heroin, peyote, and mescaline.
What is mescaline?
I have to look it up real quick. Let me just.
Mescaline.
I've
That's
heard.
that's one I've never heard.
I've
yeah,
heard. I think it's a
mescaline-
party drug.
think so.
Mescaline is a naturally occurring psychedelic alkaloid of
they're
the
party drug.
substituted phenylethylamine class, known for its hallucinogenic effects comparable to those of LSD and psilocybin. Okay, so it's comparable to like peyote, LSD, psilocybin, and
So they're really hammering home those psychedelics.
psychedelics. Yeah,
Well, that's how you get people to fucking
Yeah.
unhinge.
unhinge
Like,
immediately.
completely.
Like, imagine if you just
Think
took
of
it
it
and
like
you
a-
didn't know what was happening, and they were like fucking playing images in front of your head of propaganda and whatnot,
Yeah,
and just being like, "That is your enemy. That is your enemy.
Yeah.
That is."
Internalize it.
Yeah.
man. Yep.
By the time you're fucking out of it, you're all you're
gone.
in that world.
Yeah,
You
literally.
are fucking in that world.
So
Damn, that was a crisp mouth sound.
Who, me?
This is not ASMR.
once they went through the list of things, they ended up seeing LSD as the most promising drug for getting people to open up an interrogation.
Makes sense.
Some other things. So they went as far as to drugging their own people. So in 1952, LSD was increasingly given to unknowing CIA agents to determine the drug's effects on unsuspecting people. And one of the records states an agent was kept on LSD for 77 days.
Yeah, this sounds exactly like MK Ultra, because MK Ultra did the exact same thing.
I'm
and they
sure
had-
that
they had-
Project Artichoke and Bluebird probably tried to do the same experiments and looked at other things that maybe
'Cause
these didn't pay attention to.
MK Ultra also had someone on it for a long amount of time, and then one of their CIA agents was on it and fucking jumped out a window and died, and that's how everyone found out about MK Ultra.
My whole thing with that is like, what do they have to gain from putting their own people on it? Like, why wouldn't they just keep going with like whoever the fuck else they use?
So you'll get the most honest and like realistic descriptions from people who don't know what's going on. So if something happens to you unexpectedly, you're not going to have a predetermined notion of what you think is going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is exactly what should happen. And that's their reasoning behind illegally drugging unsuspecting people.
Yeah.
So they didn't only just try out drugs to see if they would make people more susceptible. They took it as far as like giving people diseases, like making them as sick as they possibly could. So something they tried to do was they researched the potential of dengue fever and other diseases. So a memo from Project Artichoke reads, "Not all viruses have to be lethal. The objective includes those that act as short-term and long-term incapacitating agents." And the CIA sought to establish control over what it perceived using these viruses as the weaker and less intelligent segments of society, or for potential agents, defectors, refugees, POWs, and others. Isn't that crazy?
It's very thick. And you see, like, fuck me. So
There's a lot going on. Like, a lot of different fucking things going on all at once.
we'll see the answer a question that never gets answered is, have they used it to fucking, like, because it's not one of these times that when you've come on talked, it's like, it's always like a fucking very fascinating, like, thought bubble, where it's like, holy fuck. But then at the end of it, you're left like, this happened, but no conclusion has been stated. So it's like, hold the fucking phone.
Yes.
You're talking about, like, did ibuprofen come from fucking womb experimentation? Like, what the fuck? I want to know what the fuck this is being used for. So, like, you mind control a U.S. soldier, okay? Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
But they never got that far.
No, but you don't know that. That's never said in any of these things.
That's true.
That could be the one page all the way in the back that's fucking stapled to the goddamn filing cabinet where you try. So, like, you get all these stories and shit, and then it's like, all right, so you fucking mind wipe a U.S. soldier, okay? Now you got a killing machine. What the fuck is that used for? Or are you wanting to like perfect this technology so you can like mind control politicians or foreign
actually,
entities?
That's
or...
like the very like we're almost there. So the reason why they tried some of it, not all of it, but a CIA report states that if hypnosis had succeeded, assassins could be created to assassinate a prominent redacted politician or, if necessary, a American official.
That's Castro. They wanted to kill Castro. I can guarantee it.
Like I said, I think maybe it was last week. It's like, I think some of this shit, they definitely had a motive to them doing it. But then I feel like a lot of the other shit was they were just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's just throw shit on the
We're already doing all this shit. Let's just throw in a little more shit and just kind of see what comes of it.
But I mean,
you
just
literally
think
throw
about
shit at the wall and see if it sticks,
Yeah.
dude.
just think about the possibility of like just living in another nation. Like, hold on,
just thought, dude.
Okay.
hold on, because it goes into
Brain is exploding.
I got a big brain moment right now.
It goes into say that the overseas operations took place in locations throughout Europe, Japan, Southeast Asia, and the Philippines. And the teams that assembled there and they managed the operations, they were told to conduct at the overseas bases operational experiments utilizing aliens as subjects. So not aliens from outer space, but literally the U.S. government told these CIA teams in other nations to literally just go pick up people from the streets and just drug them.
Yeah, man. So, because, like, what was it? What the fuck was I just watching the other day? It was... Oh, fuck. It's okay. So I was listening to Joey Diaz's podcast, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a recent one whatsoever. This was him with the dude who wrote the book about all the narcos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he had him on his podcast like 2 or 3 months ago or something like that. And he was like, it's funny how, when we were kids, yada, 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 we had like all this shit happen. It was never in the paper and all that. And then like 30 years later, you got a dude who's writing a book about it. And then everyone acts like they never knew nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how like the version of the news you see is like portrayed and it's a very quick glance facet, ran over edition of what has happened in the day.
Yeah.
Where it's like, not a lot of people knew that like homemade fucking bombs were like the best way mobs were attacking people. He was saying it's like 30 bombs a fucking day going off downtown Boston, but it was never on the news. Shit like that. Mm-hmm. This shit. Why the fuck? This is This is our government's.
Yep.
And we're hearing about it when?
60, 70 years later.
Exactly. What the fuck? I want to know what they're doing now.
Oh yeah.
They're doing mind control then. 60, 70 ladies. What are they doing now? They got aliens in goddamn fucking cryogenic chambers. They got that shit hooked up to their brains, dude.
Gene manipulation.
Oh,
literally
they
everything
got
you
fucking
can think of,
nanobites clicking off. They got cancer being cured. They got fucking fuck.
Dude, they're probably
they're
probably
so
learned, the government,
genius.
The U.S. government probably knows how to use cancer in a positive way.
Yeah.
I almost want to guarantee you the U.S. government probably knows how to like reverse cancer. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but just fully take advantage of all the productivity of cancer.
And the whole like rebut to that cancer argument where it's like, well, if they I like to say, and like to is an exaggeration. I think, somewhere out there's a cure for cancer. Mm-hmm. But then the rebuke is like, well, what kind of tyrannical leader would want to keep the cure for cancer from his people? I'm like, one that wants to fucking keep them under their thumb.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about healthcare if you can't get fucking cancer. No one's going to worry about that. So your platform isn't going to be sold on that.
Yeah.
Shit like that. It's like the fucking popping the dude. I don't know. God,
it's the
once
money, man.
Once you start on that thought train, it's like really hard to get off of it.
Also, it's really now you can, but back then you weren't able to. But now you can point to these things and say, "Oh, the U.S. government had all of this information and decided not to give it out to the public. Like these are things that could have benefited millions of people. Like." You want to know what's crazy?
Wow.
The U.S. government is so against LSD, but it seems to me that the U.S. government has had the most work with LSD than any other nation ever.
They have used...
Get this real quick.
What's up?
In 2015, do you know how much money was spent on cancer treatment? Like people buying medicine and shit?
trillions of dollars.
Trillions.
No, not that much.
100 or so billion.
Like 500 billion?
$107 billion.
Yeah, that
in
doesn't surprise me.
2015 alone.
That's like fucking the worth of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos right there. That's
Yeah.
like big money.
And it says it is currently expected to exceed 150 billion by 2020 per year.
Would you want to lose that money in your? That's just in our country.
That is
Or is that
Yeah,
like
and
the?
think the
that is
U.S.
worldwide.
government. The U.S. government
Still.
makes money off of that from what? Taxes.
Well, they make. All that is done for like 2 cancer treatment.
Yeah, but whenever there's a transfer of money, it gets taxed. It doesn't matter
Oh,
who
well,
it
yeah.
goes through.
No, that doesn't matter at all.
Let me see how much is spent on cancer research each year.
Because like, I bet even if they had the cancer cure of it, well, see now that makes like the whole conspiracy of it a little harder because like, or it could just be fake numbers, dude. Fake fucking numbers.
It could. Who knows?
150 billion,
I almost feel like that's shorting it.
107 billion. I mean,
You know what's crazy is like when you think about it, there's every person has at least one family member that's had cancer.
you got a 1 in 4 chance of getting cancer, dude.
Yeah, literally.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 of us here right now. We're not exactly splitting the odds very fucking good, are we?
No.
Like, if you're one more person at this table, you can almost guarantee, at least in our lifetime, one of us is going to have a version of cancer, and the chances of that happening go up every fucking year exponentially.
Yeah, man.
Where's the cure? Where's the cure? We're sending people to fucking Mars, bro.
We haven't yet. But
Why
we're
can't we
gonna.
just boil down the shit we got going on here at Earth instead of trying to send fucking space
Who
people to
knows, man?
Mars?
Who knows? Maybe the
'Cause
cure
Mars
is
is
on another
cool.
planet.
Yeah, Mars ain't got the cure to fucking cancer now, does
Hey,
it?
how do we know that?
Yeah, literally. How do you know?
You show
Yeah,
up
I
to
fucking no.
you
Dude,
show up
who
to
knows?
Mars and you eat some fucking dust and boom.
Well, everything that Mars has, we have.
Yeah.
Except for they have cancer cure.
This whole Milky Way universe is
So I've been thinking
almost
about this.
completely made up of the entire same thing.
I've been
Like,
thinking about this lately, and all right. So the idea. Okay, I've brought this up to you guys before. I don't remember if I brought it up on the podcast.
we're gonna blow the internet up with this one.
But gravity, it works. So
Oh goodness! Don't flat Earth me right now.
No, I'm not. So each planet has a density, and that density has a certain amount of gravity to it. Correct, right?
Mhm.
Now, in order to have
Wait, recant that last point.
the density of a planet
Yes.
controls the gravity that it has, does it not? Like you have to have a certain amount of density to have a certain amount of like gravitational pull.
Density and size,
Yes, okay, density and size.
because the farther away from the center of mass is how you get the exponential rise in gravity.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. So yes,
But
density
in-
and size.
If you have a small enough thing with a high enough density, though, you're still going to generate. That's
Yeah.
how black holes form.
Yeah, exactly. So, when you have a really big planet and it's super dense, so let's say Saturn. Saturn's fucking massive. So is Jupiter. We'll go with Jupiter because Jupiter is the biggest in the galaxy.
See, Jupiter's really big, but it's not as dense
Or
as
in
the
our-
other planets.
Yeah.
It's
Not
a it's
galaxy,
a it's
but-
a gas planet.
Yes. So, now what I am curious about, and we haven't been able to test because we haven't obviously been to too many other planets. I want to know how atoms react differently when there's a different amount of gravitational pull on them. Now, my idea is that, or my interpretation of what I believe will happen is, so obviously you have to have a higher gravitational pull to have a regular amount of dense, I don't even know, molecules, because in order to have an atom that is like super dense and have it stay stable and have it be an element, you have to have a really high amount of pressure, right? So the
Well-
only way to get that high amount of pressure is to have that gravitational pull.
The way like when Neil deGrasse Tyson was just on Joe Rogan's podcast,
Yeah.
the way he was like, he sort of prefaced what you just said there, like how molecules react differently in pressure and gravity and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's so like I don't think anything like nothing new would be made, but everything would maybe exist in a different state.
Exactly.
Like where because you
things that
have
we've never seen in a state like that before.
well when you go to Jupiter, you've got like fucking hydrogen clouds. You know, you don't have
Yes,
just you don't have like H2O.
and we've never been able to experiment on things like that. We've never been able to have those things because they can't exist on Earth.
Right. But yeah, it would be fucking cool to see like what stuff does under different gravity, but that can all be simulated on Earth just with pressure.
It could be. I don't know if you could.
Not to exponential limits. Like, you couldn't
Yeah.
just be like, okay, here's a super fucking big tub of X element.
Yes.
Let's
in a certain state.
Right. Let's put it like, let's simulate Jupiter's atmosphere, because they do that all the time for calculations. Like when they're landing shit on different planets, they're like, okay, simulate moon, at 3.2 meters per second. That's how much the gravity is. Blah blah blah.
So what I'm under, or what I think will happen is once we get to Mars and we start exploring these other planets, we're gonna start seeing different states of matter, and like, I don't even know if it might even be different states of matter. I just believe that we're going to be able to see molecules and atoms react in ways that we've never seen them react before, and that'll open up a lot of new doors for us.
Well, you will probably, because like Mars has got less gravity, hardly has no atmosphere.
Exactly, and so what I think is,
water will probably boil super early.
Exactly. So you're not. So obviously, your pressure is going to be different. The atmosphere is going to be different. So the way things react is going to be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Our atmosphere is made up of oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, a lot of other things, like a shit ton of other things.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what Mars's atmosphere is made of.
Well, our atmosphere is made out of ozone, oxygen, O2.
Yeah. So, like, just to think about the way that there might not even be certain elements on Mars that we have, like, not even just because of the fact that they just didn't end up there, but like heavier materials that, like, so obviously we're going to see a lot less of the man-made materials that we've seen here on Earth. Like, those are obviously not going to be on Mars, but I think we're going to see like a certain amount of elements that are higher up on the periodic table. I think we're going to like possibly not even see them at all on Mars. And then once we get to a planet like Jupiter or Saturn that's like fucking massive, we're going to see elements that we've never seen before in a stable.
There's like anomalies that happen where they go out and they fucking take pictures of planets and shit, and they're in completely different ecosystems and universes than we are, and it's like a planet made of diamonds.
Yeah, literally.
So it's like a very bizarro fucking comic book thing, It's just mutant planets, dude. Because like there's no, since Mars gets so hot and then gets so cold, there's no subsurface water, but all the water underneath is frozen, which is to say that it doesn't have a warm core, which is kind of weird.
Which is crazy to think about, because Neil, this is something Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about. Water is the only thing that gets less dense when it changes from a state of liquid to a state of solid. It is one of the only things that becomes lighter in density. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I mean, I've thought about it before, but it is like one of the only things that does that. And our entire, like, the Earth wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. Like, literally, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for ice floating.
Yeah, because he explained the anecdote of, well, when the ice freezes, it's higher or lower density. So ice wants to freeze on the top of water, and if ice were never able to freeze on the top of water, then we would never have evolved from life like in water.
Yeah.
Because then the ice would freeze at the bottom and then float up and then freeze at the bottom and float up and then freeze at the and it would fill everything up with ice.
Yep.
And nothing would have ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever Earth, it's like 9.8 is Earth's gravitational pull and whatnot. If it weren't for that little fucking number, that little integer, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Literally.
Like literally the moon. It's like 5.4. It's like 4 fucking numbers.
Yeah.
And
I always Ren from Corridor Crew.
Mm-hmm.
He's done those videos before where he does like a VFX artist does this, where he tries to like he uses his his skills to kind of put things in perspective for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because they were doing like the one episode, which it still sometimes just blows my mind. He was talking about like how like ships work, like more particularly like battleships and all that, because the way they determine how those ships will float effectively is like how their water displacement, how much they put off and all that.
Yeah.
And so
you have to displace the amount of water that the craft weighs.
And he gave
Isn't
like
that
the little
fucking
figure,
insane,
and it
though?
was like a big cube of water that would probably fit in this room was like hundreds of tons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Water
That is fucking insane.
Which is fun, yeah, because water is actually incredibly dense.
Oh yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, the world, the way the world works is so weird, and it's funny to think like we know so much, but yet we really know so little. We know a lot about Earth. We do not know shit about how anything works outside of Earth. We barely know anything.
I was on a 4chan the other night, and they had this thread on there that was all like super deep sea life. It is just fucking insane.
Yeah,
all the shit that's fucking down there, dude.
Yeah,
It's alien.
Shit,
the whole statistic is we know more about space than we do the ocean, but like, I don't know.
I doubt. Big doubt.
Well, I know proportionally speaking, there's way more space down there as fucking ocean.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
Is that whole statistic though supposed to be like, I guess, our immediate space, like just what is around us?
Maybe, but it still seems a little half baked.
I mean, it probably is.
It's the people who are like, well, maybe we should be spending more time grounded on it. You know?
Irregardless, though, there is so much shit I know we don't know about our ocean. We just haven't explored enough of it. It's insane.
It is.
I don't know what
insane.
Fucking. We haven't even touched. We got all our baby.
Oh yeah.
We'll keep going on this rabbit hole. The fucking Bermuda Triangle, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
How come? So like, fucking early 2000s, right?
Yes.
I'm fucking growing up, you know. I'm watching Discovery Channel.
I used to read about the Bermuda Triangle.
It was on
all
the
the
news.
time.
Yeah, it was on the news. History Channel covered it multiple times.
Now, personally, I think it's fucking fake because you don't hear about it anymore. I think it like ran through its course and then it was like, and then we're done. Like it was
Do they like specifically avoid it?
I don't know because it just seems like the stupidest fucking thing. That should be mine, but it's just like so. Like you realize this fucking trend comes up, you know. Okay,
I've been using yours.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah, I know because mine has like a little nick in it.
Oh, okay.
I wondered why I had so much juice in mine. Because mine was almost empty. Yeah, this is mine.
But you get like the anomaly. So it's something else that he brought up on the podcast was, hey, alien sightings are only prevalent when bad cameras are around. And then you realize, like, when you would watch old alien sighting footage, it would be like a dude standing in his backyard recording it, and he'd be like right there, you know?
Yeah.
And that would be like passable because it was a really bad camera. But now you got people standing like a fucking mile away, looking at like a mountain range, and shit just like sort of grazed over because guess what? We've got fucking 4K cameras now. And the only shit that looks like a UFO is shit that's really far away or is really grainy, you know, or you go to record it and it's like, yeah. It's very weird.
So I just looked it up, and the Bermuda Triangle is actually flown over quite often.
Yeah.
It's like it's not really avoided anymore. I think
it's a big propaganda, like just like not a propaganda, you know, but like just sort of like be like, ooh, you know, conspiracy.
You know,
like there's
sometimes the news accidentally perpetuates legends and myths.
Well, yeah.
Well, they like to stir the pot a little bit.
I
get
think
people
it's
excited about the topic.
I feel like it's a mix of that, and then probably also like, for some weird reason, like a coincidental amount of just shit happening there. So they kind of make this whole thing with like, oh, well, something's going on. We're going to call it this.
People always want a reason why.
Yeah. So
I'm one of those people.
So yeah, Bermuda Triangle. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of Bermuda Triangle, we got Modern Warfare Beta to talk about. Did you like that segue?
Nice
Perfect
transition.
That was perfect.
Beautiful,
All right,
Mike.
gamers. So
rise up.
If you've
if you haven't been a fucking idiot,
if you're a gamer, you would know that the new Modern Warfare beta has been going on, and the open beta started just the other night, and we played some of it, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit, some of our impressions, things we liked, things we disliked. Do you have something to say?
Now, hold on. I think we need to establish some credibility here. That way people do not question our...
Oh, God. You just want to stroke your own boner, dude.
No.
Get it out of the way. How many hours you got in Modern Warfare 2? What is all the stats,
I'm just saying,
dude?
we've been playing Call of Duty for what?
Ever.
I jumped in...
My first one was Call of Duty 3. That was the first one I played.
Yeah, the first one I played would have been World at War with you.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing Call of Duty since World at War all the way up. Like, I haven't played the last few because, to be completely honest, Call of Duty has been pretty fucking fat chub, small cock.
Yeah.
And as far as my credibility, we'll just pass it around the table, dude. I've also played since World at War. I have played the more recent ones. I'm glad you didn't waste your fucking time. I've only achieved prestige, 10th prestige in one Call of Duty game, and it was one
Advanced Warfare.
One of the worst in the series, Advanced Warfare. But I loved it because it had the one-shot sniper mode.
You see, honestly,
I love that fucking game.
Unpopular opinion, I didn't mind Advanced Warfare. I actually kind of liked that one. That
love
was
it.
kind of the last one I enjoyed.
Yeah, I have Advanced. My
Advanced
Xbox
Warfare
One.
is the game we just got, except without exoskeletons. It plays the same to me. It looks very similar.
Yes, I completely
But
agree.
it's got the sliding, which is correct, but no exoskeletons.
Yeah,
all
so
the
my
same
Xbox
weaponry.
My Xbox One's actually the Advanced Warfare Special Edition Xbox One.
Yeah. I thought that was a good one.
It's a good-looking
Advanced
Xbox.
Warfare was the only one with like the exosuits that I enjoyed.
You know,
because I think they were teetering on the line of not too far into the future,
Yes.
and like they were kind of on
The
a border
guns were
there.
still realistic.
Dude.
It was still. It wasn't like there were no
It wasn't, like,
laser
crazy
weapons.
shit.
Yeah,
It
there
was-
wasn't the game wasn't about getting skins and like microtransactions yet.
What was the game that came out with the Modern Warfare remaster?
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Okay,
Infinite
so Infinite Warfare was a completely unplayable multiplayer experience.
I played it once.
It was.
I don't think I ever played it.
It was the hardest multiplayer experience. The maps were all. I remember specifically one map where like you can choose playing like a robot or whatever, blah blah blah, because it's a real futuristic Call of Duty game, and it was fucking like white. It was like Squidward's fucking pocket dimension he goes to in the future, dude.
Yeah.
It was like painted like that, and the robots are little skinny wireframes, and they're flying by on a fucking Xbox One graphics card, and you can't see anyone going anywhere. You're just getting fucking tag teamed by these goddamn kids, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
I've said it before, but I played through the campaign for Infinite Warfare, and the only reason I even remotely enjoyed it was because I just forced myself to be like, this isn't Call of Duty.
Yeah.
This is not Call of
And
Duty.
so it made me enjoy it a little bit more.
The last Call of Duty I played the campaign all the way through would have been probably because I didn't play Black Ops 3 all the way through.
That's the only one I
played it-
haven't played.
I played the campaign a little bit, but I didn't play it all the way. So whatever game came out, it wasn't Advanced Warfare. Yeah, it was Advanced Warfare.
Was
that
it?
was the last campaign because it was the brothers, right?
That had a legit good campaign, though.
That
Brothers
one, I
was-
actually thoroughly enjoyed that
Wait,
campaign.
Advanced Warfare. It wasn't Advanced Warfare. Wasn't Brothers. I don't think it was the one guy. Ghost was the brothers.
Ghost was fucking good, too.
Ghost,
I liked
did
Ghost.
enjoy-
Ghost was good. I gotta admit.
I liked
that's-
Ghost campaign. Was not huge on the multiplayer.
Ghost
Yeah,
had
okay.
the attack dog's kill streak, which I liked.
Mhm.
So I guess Ghosts is technically the last campaign I played all the way through.
Yeah.
Which is what, like 4 years ago now, 5 years ago, because I was
Maybe
still in high school.
5.
I remember
It
going
could
to
be
the
more,
midnight.
honestly.
I remember going to the midnight release for Ghosts. We had the GameStop, the local GameStop around here had a competition, and I signed up for it.
Wow.
2013. 6 years ago.
Mhm.
2013. Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
So
6 years
little
ago.
Ethan Grimm, November 4th at 11:50 p.m. was in there getting ready to get his
Yeah.
copy of.
Well, actually, Walmart started selling copies early at 11. So
So you got home
my
before your
fucking-
bedtime. You know, you
Hell
played.
yeah,
It's
dude.
always it's always a Thursday release for games. You know, so you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
you play in. You skip school on Friday. You know, you say
Oh, yeah, dude.
fuck it,
Yes.
throw shit to
'Cause-
the wind, dude.
Because the last midnight release I went to was with you for Black Ops 3. Because we both got it.
Oh yeah.
And in case
And-
you're wondering, Home Shopping Network's got it available for $13.
Because we went to GameStop, and I don't remember what was going on. I think they weren't letting people in yet.
Yeah.
So we left. We went to Walmart. We got our gamer fuel, and then we went back. Dude, we
Fuck
got
yes,
our
dude.
Mountain Dew gamer fuel. I still have those cans, by the
Double
way.
XP.
They're on my shelves.
Is that
still.
what those are?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Those are like World of Warcraft gamer fuels, aren't they?
They're Black Ops 3.
Are
Black
they?
Ops
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Black Ops 3.
Mountain Dew usually has a special every time a Call of Duty game comes out. Well,
Oh,
where
man.
Mountain
Yeah.
Dew, the Mountain Dew caps have got something for you.
I might have to pick
Little
them up
gift.
if they do a special one for Modern Warfare. But then I used to have these really fucking cool Halo 3 gamer
Oh,
fuels.
did
I
you
don't
get rid
know
of
what
them?
the fuck happened to them, but
Those
I can't
bottles?
find them. Yeah.
Dude, I think my oldest brother still has his.
He might, because I remember me and Zach, we went to, I think it was like Family Dollar,
Mhm.
and they were like selling like these big cases of them for like nothing at all. So we bought a
Damn.
fuck ton of them.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, back to Modern Warfare Beta. My first impressions on it. So for one thing, it's got a nice pace. It's pretty quick, and I think there's something about it that I think it's just because the past several have been so shit. Just haven't enjoyed. And then
Yeah.
I finally picked this one up. I'm like, hey, this is pretty fucking good. So it just made it like way more exciting for me.
One of my biggest qualms with playing Call of Duty on a PC is that it never feels right.
Yes.
It always feels like I'm
Sluggish.
like the game isn't like, because when you're playing on PC, you're moving shit so much quicker. Like the game, just like the game mentality alone of just 100% controller players or 100% PC players.
Yeah.
If the PC players are playing, all with mouse and keyboard. That shit is 100 times quicker than it will ever fucking be with a controller. And it took, I think, until right now, because I played the World at War, like the old. They came out with the, it was new, and they came out with the remastered of Modern Warfare. I played that one. No, World War II is one. Wait, what the fuck one just came out? It was like improved graphics. Is that the Modern Warfare remaster?
Yeah, that
and it came out with the multiplayer.
Infinite Warfare.
No, the one that just came out would have been Call of Duty World War II.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When we did the beta for that one and played it.
You did, yeah.
And it was still pretty good, but it just fucking, whenever you aim, it just feels like it's like you stop, but then it like keeps going a little bit, and it feels like you're kind of on ice,
Yeah, it just feels sluggish.
This one is fucking like where you set it is where it's at. Everything is like very tight. It's there's no.
It feels like they actually ported it with PC people in mind.
This feels like a PC game. Like this feels like it was developed on PC.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, crossplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That like.
Which, in my opinion, would be the right way to go.
Yeah, you take this game and compare it, like the mouse keyboard play, to any other one, I can guarantee you that you're going to fucking like this. Like, if you like FPS PC games, this is
the way to go, man.
Because I've never loved playing it, and this is a fucking good one. It's real good.
Yeah. So I thought just the movements in the game are just super smooth.
Compared to like the way it used to be. See, because my problem is that it was too fast-paced. And there was too much three-dimensionalism in the fucking games.
Yeah, this one fixes it.
This one, because they removed the idea, they just completely removed the idea of fucking wall running, double jumping, and like just the insane idea of what Call of Duty was never meant to be.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is like, in this instance, I'm not necessarily comparing it to older Call of Duties. I mean, I will in a second, but in this point for movement, more so kind of with other games that are out right now.
Say Battlefield.
Because, I mean, we play Siege all the fucking time.
And that's way slower compared to
this. If like you're running and then you got to jump over something, you stop for like a quick little second, then you hop over. But this one, it's like you're sprinting and boom, you're over and you're moving.
Yeah, you can preempt the movement. Like you can click and then...
Before
before prompt comes up.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like you can just be like sitting there like... doing that, and you're fucking gonna fly through that window. Or I love when it's got like the trash can set up against the high wall, and you can click real fast. It's like boom, boom. It's not like click, boom, and then vault.
Yeah.
It's just
it's very quick.
It's smooth. It's really nice.
It's so fast.
Yeah, I've been a fan of all of like the fucking handling of the firearms in that game. It's all super good.
I was gonna say, you're a resident firearm expert, so to you. You got reloads, you got charges, you got fucking magazine deployment, you got all that shit, you got gun sound. What are you thinking right now? Is it fucking on point?
I'm thinking it's pretty fucking mint.
It's pretty fucking mint, like close, like real close to what it would sound like. Because I was listening to the map where you're like in between the two mountains with my new headphones on, and you can hear, or like in the caves where like a bullet goes off and it hits something. It's like ding, dude, and it like flies down the cave.
There's a fucking clear difference now. See, in the older games, it was really hard to tell what kind of weapon you were being shot at with. But now it's really easy to tell the difference between an SMG compared to like a fucking LMG or a sniper.
I mean, they fucking paid attention in this game for sound design.
Yeah,
yeah,
you could tell.
Well, that's one of the points I made, is that in this game, you can fucking 100% tell when someone is shooting directly at you. Because they've added in to where the bullets crack when they hit near you, like they actually do in real life. So, like, you hear that and you're like, oh, shit, someone's shooting at me.
You make a fucking... I came across, when we were playing on the first day or whatever, you make a sound when you rub against a wall.
Yeah.
Do you really?
You make a fucking... like, you go tung, tung, tung. If you rub against the wall, it's like... and then you're off of it.
And then when you're running... and they added this into Siege as well. They've just done things with your feet. Like, it's a lot easier to tell when somebody
is coming up to you.
Well, when they're running and then they stop.
It's an environmental cue. They said they were going to do big on that.
The fucking... Obviously, when you're running, your feet are going to sound really heavy. But in that stopping motion, when you stop running, it's going to be a lot. It's going to have a big thud to it because you're trying to stop all that momentum. And that's easier to pick up now. Or like when someone changes directions, you can hear the like gravel underneath their feet shift. Yeah. And you can tell like, oh, they went from running this way, now they're going that way.
Yeah. Or you can hear, oh, he laid down. Oh, he's
exactly.
crawling.
You can hear all his fucking material hit the ground and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super just like... That's what makes it fun to play, because you can like sort of hear where shit's coming from, and it doesn't feel like you're getting snuck up on or anything like that. Like very, very seldomly have I gotten snuck up in that Call of Duty. Like you get some dude who runs up with you on a fucking shotgun,
Damn.
That sucks.
And might I say, the shotguns in this game are fucking like some of the best shotguns that I've seen in any fucking video game ever.
Yeah. that was one of the small little gripes I had, is that they have in the past, they went way overboard with recoil for the shotguns.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The deagle is really bad too.
The deagle's more understandable.
I get that, but
I also
it's unusable almost.
I also like that with the idea of pistols, that they weren't like, they made the deagle the first one that you get, so you get the 50 cal, but the damage isn't like, it's not fucking outrageous, and it shouldn't be, in my opinion. Like I don't really think of fucking, I get it, it's a 50 cal, it's a big ass round, right? But I don't think you should be able to fucking 1 or 2 shot somebody with it. And you can't, and that's like the whole idea of the pistol in the game. It's the sidearm. It's supposed to do less damage than your primary. Yeah. The whole reason it's there is to help you pick up that extra kill if you ran out of ammo.
But where I got lost for a second. Oh yeah, going back to sound. The one thing I have really appreciated with this game is that the guns do not sound weak. They sound full powered, like you are seriously fucking blasting somebody. Yeah. They sound very good.
Not flat whatsoever.
No.
Yeah,
They've got like a deepness to it.
Yeah, and I love that.
It's got a full sound.
When I'm playing a shooter, if I'm in the game shooting and it sounds like I'm not, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I want it to sound like I'm fucking pulling the trigger on somebody.
It feels like you can like hear the weapon operating too.
Yeah.
Like it's not just boom, like crack boom, or boom crack.
Mechanisms.
It's like shunkum boom, shunkum boom, shunkum boom, shunkum boom. It's very, there. I hope you guys like my interpretation of guns.
Sticking with the weapons, the customization is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It is definitely the best for any Call of Duty and one of the better ones for games in general.
Also, super easy to, like what you said, once you get past that first little step with the weapons and you get that first optic, after that, I found it is very, very easy to unlock all the customization.
And I don't know if they're gonna change it, but I mean, you can level up your weapons fairly quick. It's not very slow.
We got to 30 in the M4. I mean, I got to 30 in the M4A1 by last night, and the beta was. I only played 2 days of the beta, so
when I finished today, my M4 was like level 28.
Yeah,
and I didn't exclusively use it. I used other shit too. So.
And level 30 isn't even the fucking weapon cap.
Yeah.
No, like I almost want to hope that they didn't even show all of the weapons or weapon variants that they have.
No,
in
they
the
didn't.
Game.
They did not.
Because I felt like
you could only go to 30, and it was like you unlocked like 7 things at 31 that you're not getting to see now, but you'll get to see when it comes out.
But I felt like there wasn't enough like variety in the weapons. There was like 6 or 7 assault rifles, 4 SMGs, 4 or 5 SMGs, 3 shotguns, 3 snipers, 3 marksman rifles, and a couple sidearms.
Yeah, I don't know what else they're adding in, but I know those aren't all of them because I've read other shit that like the 44 Magnum will be in the game and shit like that. So I think there is definitely guns that
they had the
not
357 as a side handgun.
Sidearm?
Sorry. Yeah, sidearm.
In the beta?
Side handgun.
Yeah, it was one of the very last pistols that you could unlock. The 357 Magnum was, yeah.
Maybe I just don't remember seeing it, but okay. Other thing I fucking love, and I loved it from the moment I saw it in the trailer, the night vision in that game is so fucking good.
I didn't even try it out.
It is.
The night vision game mode was crystal. Dude.
Nice.
I mean,
it was like the best pipe of meth I've ever had.
It looks so fucking legit. This is what I wrote down for this. I said night vision mode is tense and well done. The night vision itself is very good looking. It makes you feel like you're actually looking through NVGs as opposed to a harsh green filter on the screen like in previous titles.
Yeah.
It is like you are looking through night vision goggles.
Oh, damn, that's pretty good.
It's very good.
The laser. You know what excites me?
The laser.
You know what excites me is that
I love it.
The fact that they're willing to put so Call of Duty
the attention to detail, man. I fucking love that because
and the whole thing was what I was trying to say is that like the attention to detail that they've put into their multiplayer, even though Call of Duty is a multiplayer title,
well, this was
makes me so fucking excited to see what they've done with the campaign.
Yeah, because the whole thing with night vision is that, I mean, depending on how you have your rifle set up, you can use your night vision and your optic at the same time, but it's not easy. No. So that's why guys run their lasers on their rifles, so when they have their night vision on, they can just turn it on and then shoot whatever the laser's pointing at, and that's what they do in the game for night vision.
I think another reason this game is so fucking good is because this was their, like, last try.
I mean, yeah, and they fucking knew it, dude.
Make it or break it.
Yeah, this was it, and they did it, I think. I mean, unless it fucking something happens between now and the game coming out, it's gonna be good. It's gonna make them a lot
You'll
of money.
Also,
Sorry,
go
go ahead. No, go ahead.
You also have to consider that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like for the past several, really for the past several games, it has been Treyarch and Sledgehammer who's been slacking. Infinity Ward, though, they've done every Modern Warfare, and every one of them has been amazing.
Oh yeah, hands down, like the
They've
Modern
been the
Warfare
best Call of
series.
Duties.
Oh yeah, the Modern Warfare series as a whole. Like, all right, Black Ops, the whole Black Ops series is really entertaining.
I'm not saying Black Ops was bad, but the earlier Black Ops was good.
The earlier Black Ops games, like Black Ops and Black Ops 2, are definitely top tier titles. Like, probably will forever be cemented in my top 10 video games of all time. However, I feel like the Modern Warfare series just fucking dwarfs it because of just the accuracies, just the way that they melded the game around the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and the campaigns have always been good for them.
Oh yeah,
I've loved the Spec Ops modes they put in all of them. They've been very well done games. Since the beginning.
My favorite ones are the 2s, Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2. My favorite ones.
Yeah,
they're
very well
pretty
done.
Sure, Modern Warfare 2 was the highest selling Call of Duty game of all time, right?
It may have been. Modern Warfare 2 was a very big one.
Yeah, that was what cemented Call of Duty entirely.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of that was the trailer, man. When they put the trailer out for it, I shit my pants. Just
Everyone
all the gameplay
did.
Footage, and they had fucking "Till I Collapse" by Eminem playing for. I was like, oh my god,
okay,
this game.
People, dude, you just gotta understand if you're trying to fucking get people into your product, you gotta do whatever the fuck you can to connect to your audience. And they fucking managed to do everything they could fucking think of to cement themselves in everyone's mind.
Dude, I'm telling you, when you're putting out a video game trailer, the music is huge in it.
Absolutely.
Because every fucking game over the past few years that I've seen a trailer for, they've always had good music, or for the ones I loved rather, have always had really good music. I mean, like I said, fucking Modern Warfare 2 had Eminem for the trailer, it was really good.
Ghosts had Eminem as well.
Yeah, Ghost did as well. Battlefield 1 was Seven Nation Army. They put in that, and that shit got me pretty hyped.
Was badass.
And then for fucking Modern Warfare, they had Metallica in the trailer. So that trailer was awesome. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So getting back into it, another thing I really enjoyed from the game was being able to mount to walls to peek the corner. It's not as smooth as just being able to tilt whenever you want, but it is still really nice because when you do mount to a surface, it's your recoil is pretty much gone.
Well, that's another thing.
And it allows you to hold a really good angle on whatever you're looking at.
From the weapons that I've used in game, there's virtually no fucking recoil.
None of them are very heavy on the recoil.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, especially for the M4, because in real life, shooting those full auto, not saying, it's you can just pick it up and boom, it's not like it is the easiest thing to do, but when you do have a lower caliber rifle like that and you're shooting full auto, it is much easier to control. So, it's not bad, but I did use some of the LMGs a little bit, and they are a little heavier on the recoil.
Yeah, I think they might want to differentiate, make it a little bit more. Because my thing was that I was getting killed a lot with LMGs, and it was just people just spraying.
I think on launch, the M4 is probably going to get a slight nerf. In my opinion, it was. Everybody used the fucking M4.
Oh, it was a good gun.
It was because
it's a real good gun.
Very little recoil. It has pretty decent damage.
So much for customization. You can pretty much change everything on that gun.
I know, and I fucking love it.
I'm just sad I gotta level that gun up again. I loved my gun, dude. Yeah. I had it in a very nice spot. Very nice spot.
Hey man, we I don't know if you did, but we reached level 10 in the beta, so we get the hammer shotgun now on release.
Ooh.
Whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, I got to level 17.
Oh yes, you're good. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh yeah. As I stated before, not too many things I didn't like about the beta. I don't know if maybe some people were experiencing bugs. I really didn't. I had a pretty good experience with it. I mentioned before that the recoil for the shotguns was kind of ridiculous.
For bugs, it was only one game out of probably I probably played 15, 16 games in the beta. Maybe more, but out of all of them, I only had one game, and it was the that warehouse one. I forget what it's called, but it kind of looks like There's a lot of construction going on. And there were people underneath the map already. Like they had got an APC and a tank and a bunch of people underneath the map, and you could just shoot people from underneath, and they couldn't shoot you.
I didn't get any shit like that.
And that's not. I really wouldn't call that game breaking, but it is. It can get frustrating. So as long as they're able to stay on top of things like that, and they don't it's not a persistent problem where people are constantly able to get out of maps. As long as they can keep that under control, I think this game's going to do really well.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and move on here because Preston still has shit to talk about, and I believe we're over the 1 hour mark.
We are over 1 hour.
So
holy moly.
Another thing I liked is just going back to the kill streaks and all that. I like seeing some of the classic Modern Warfare kill streaks they have in there, like the Juggernaut and AC-130 and shit. But then they've been introducing some other stuff, like the White Phosphorus is a new one. And actually, the White Phosphorus kill streak has gotten a little bit of controversy around it. Basically, from what I have read, is that, and I read this from a couple of guys that were veterans talking about it, and basically saying, so for one thing, White Phosphorus in the real world, it's not illegal by the Geneva Convention, but it is very frowned upon. So most countries don't use it because they kind of all just consider it to be too fucked up.
So what actually happens when you... So what is white phosphorus? Is it a powder or is it like...
Well, it's an incendiary device. So basically what happens is when white phosphorus is detonated, it is very good at sticking to skin, and it will burn until either the phosphorus is gone or until the oxygen it is absorbing is depleted. So it will burn for a long time.
Literally, okay.
And even if it's a little bit, it can burn and go through your skin. It melts through your skin.
Well, just think about if you breathe it in.
Breathing it in also will fuck your lungs.
Yeah.
But
get it on your eyes.
Because one of the big things is eyeballs, people will get a little bit of it on them. You know, maybe not necessarily enough to kill them in that moment, but once it gets into the system, it can cause organ failure. So,
okay.
It's very frowned upon. Like nowadays, it's not illegal, but it's super regulated. Pretty much like most incendiary devices, it cannot be used around civilians. Only on military targets. Nowadays, it's mostly used for just like I was reading in some handbook for the military. It's defined as usually being used for marking a target or like for creating a smoke screen.
Okay.
But it's not really used in a weapons capacity very much anymore because I know like in Vietnam, both sides used it and it was just super fucking nasty. Another thing I read was that it was revealed that in the game there are going to be weapon charms. So people are a little worried that it might lead to like loot box type shit. My whole thing with it, which I feel like whenever people hear loot box, they immediately are infuriated with it.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that as long as those loot boxes are not providing something that's going to give you a step up in the game, then I don't really have a problem with it. It's cosmetic.
I don't either.
Hey, check out this plus 20% damage charm.
Yeah. Like, if it's cosmetic, whatever. You know, if they... Because sometimes, you know, they give you the option to where if you really want it, you can pay for it. I don't agree with that, but just as long as they have a way for you to actually earn it in-game by playing, to where you don't have to spend anything.
Yeah.
So hopefully the game doesn't get fucking plagued with loot boxes. I know the Modern Warfare Remaster had them to an extent. I don't remember if you could probably pay for them, I imagine. You know, it's fucking Call of Duty. Not even just Call of Duty. Most fucking games do that nowadays.
Yeah,
but
the one thing to keep in mind when we're talking about loot boxes is when it comes to these kind of things, more than likely it's not even the company that's creating the game. It's the parent company, Activision, the one who produces these games, that gives Infinity Ward and the Call of Duty name the money to make these games. They're the ones that get the... You know, it's like an investment. You want to get a return on your investment. So Activision is essentially going to be like, hey, you got to make us a lot of money. And if you don't, we're going to cut your contract. So you have to put in loot boxes.
I mean, fucking think about it for like GTA.
They
have, because, you know, Rockstar.
That game's pay to win.
Whether or not.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, whether or not it's intentional, they have very long periods in between GTA's releasing.
Mm-hmm.
So... You had San Andreas, people played forever, and then there was the huge gap, and then GTA 5 came out.
Well, GTA 4 came out in between.
There was GTA 4.
But that one was not nearly as big as San Andreas.
No, not at all. So, irregardless, you do have considerable gaps in between releases.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you see GTA 5 coming out. It's like, oh my god, the graphics, they look so good. This story looks good.
Yeah.
Comes out, people play it, they get addicted to it. The multiplayer starts hitting, everyone's hopping in on that shit. Everybody loves it, and then they're like, okay, well now here's where we're going to start jacking up the prices on everything. We're going to fuck up the in-game economy, and we're going to let you buy all these shark cards so you keep getting the cool shit we're adding in.
When shit starts costing $20 million fucking bucks and $8 million costs $100,
yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, bro.
I mean, think about it. I think GTA 5 released in 2015, I think.
I'll get a stat on that, but keep going.
And they're still adding stuff in pretty regularly.
Yeah, well,
GTA 5's release was
2013.
We've been highballing it on these.
Yeah, now that I fucking think about it,
it's been 6 years.
Because I first played it on Xbox 360.
Literally came out 6 years, 5 days ago.
Yeah, so I have bought that game for Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC.
They got $180 from you.
Yeah, they have.
Literally, but I gotta
not including other because I have bought shark
yeah,
cards
not
before.
Including all the shit they've got. So just from you, we'll put that to 300. We'll just say 300. Like assuming you've bought 220 whatever, $300 from one person. How many copies sold? Do we have a figure on that?
Oh, dude,
wasn't
it one of the
amount.
highest? Wasn't it? Was I'm pretty sure it actually broke the record.
Probably was it 21.3 million copies.
So we'll just say whatever. What's 20 times 300, Ethan?
20 times 300 would be 6,000.
So what? 6,000 million, dude. I was thinking $300 times 21.3 million copies.
Yeah.
Like let's assume the person bought it on 361 and then PC when it came out.
That is, I believe that stat looks like that is PlayStation only.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I've got my little fingers together up at my CEO office making big dollars.
They have made a crazy amount of money off of GTA 5 because just think about
it. Well, it has to do with the timing of what so they didn't release the whole game when it came out.
No, it was story.
Literally, that's it.
A couple months later or whatever
was multiplayer. A couple months later, they were like, you know what? We're gonna fucking give all of you guys. We're gonna give you this thing for free that we call multiplayer, and you can play with all your friends, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then like 6
Hope
months,
your parents are rich.
Literally, and then 6 months after they come out with multiplayer, they literally add in shark cards. And the whole game went to shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like props to them for being able to put out all the shit that is actually fairly interesting to be able to do. Yeah. But they really fucked it up with the in-game currency.
And there was like a period where we'll call it the Halo period of Grand Theft Auto 5, where it was the multiplayer experience before it got blown out of proportion. Because that's really what happened. It got completely blown.
Are you kidding me? That game is not what the fuck. That is not a normal multiplayer experience.
Not anymore.
What the
it used to be where you could drive around and do missions
so
and everyone was like
shit. You have to play that game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and be the best at it to be able to buy all the shit in that game.
And I think they're like one of their whole things with it is like, well, you know what? We're gonna give you this update for free, but everything in it's really expensive.
You won't have a damn fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and another thing I was thinking about is like, think about all the like GTA YouTubers, like just how many have popped up and made GTA 5 their kind of main source of content. And like obviously they play the game a lot, but you can play that game a lot and still not be able to get nearly everything you can in that game.
No, you won't.
So imagine how much those guys are probably spending on shark cards and shit.
I bet they're spending nothing on them.
Well, here's the thing. I think
either they're spending money on them and then telling GTA, be like, hey, yo, I just spent this much on where's my kickback at? Because like Funhouse, they would do their fucking videos.
Yeah.
And spend, hey, buy another shark card.
Yeah.
$100. Buy
and I think that is definitely, one of the cases, but like those guys starting out kind of before they get to that level of fame for playing the game,
right.
They're going to have to pay that shit because if you're a nobody, Rockstar ain't going to pay you shit. So, but I haven't played Red Dead Online. Is it kind of the same gist?
It's much more balanced right now. Okay. And they just released a big update. I got to hop on and play it.
Check her out.
See how it goes and whatnot.
Give her a little dip.
Right, so we will brush real quick through these last few points. So for one thing, which I also agree with, it seems like a lot of people at the moment with the beta are in concurrence that this game will probably be what saves Call of Duty. And I have to agree. As far as the beta goes, we'll have to wait and see for the full release.
This is already my favorite Call of Duty game.
But I think it is looking very promising.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like what they've done with it. My issue with all the Call of Duties in between Modern Warfare 3 and this one is that the custom loadouts were fucked up and they were weird, where you had a limited amount of things that you could use in one loadout.
Not even that. Use
Dude.
magazine, grip.
Yeah, it was like the necessities.
Magazine, grip, stock, and scope.
You couldn't make it weird. Like
Yeah.
it had to be your necessities if you wanted to be good.
Yeah.
You
And
can
it's
get
like they're
shorty
bringing-
AK-47s and shit once you
Yeah.
get up in them levels.
And so now they're making it much more unique and like I don't want like hopefully they don't make too much variance in between what makes the gun better rather than doing things that improve slightly upon what the weapon can do.
Mhm.
Because the whole thing with like those weird custom loadout limits was that the guns were all the same. But
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, and you would always pick like, okay, everyone knows that this is the best gun in the game, so we all need to be using it with these as set attachments.
Yeah.
I don't want that
And
anymore.
that's the thing that's nice is that with this one, there is a slight difference to what you can put on your weapons, but it's not necessarily like this is 100% better than this. So you don't have everybody running around with
Yes.
that loadout.
Exactly.
It is you are making it to your own preference for what makes it feel like it's yours.
Yeah, because the only thing
Exactly.
the base gun is missing is an optic.
Literally.
Like you do things that improve slightly how the gun operates, you know,
yeah.
Mhm.
but it's still the same gun. Like the FMJ perk on a weapon obviously is gonna like give you a very, very, very noticeable edge over someone who doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But like eventually everyone's gonna have that. It's gonna be at their disposal, but not. I see no reason for every weapon to have to be the same, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With every character.
Exactly.
But I'm kind of thinking like maybe this whole thing is a strategy. We're gonna start out this franchise. It's gonna be fucking amazing. We're gonna put out a couple titles here, get them reeled down in the dumps. Like this game is shit, and then we're gonna release this new title that's
Get 'em
bringing
all
it
back.
bringing it back to what it used to be. Hit them with that
Yeah.
nostalgia.
That's how
and
I'd
we're
run a
gonna
country.
sell 1 trillion copies.
That's how I'd run a country right there. Disappoint my people, bring them back up. Disappoint them, bring them back up.
Every time they come back up, they're coming up harder, dude. Like yes,
I'm gonna make them come
We're-
up real
we're
hard.
back.
I'm gonna make them come hard. Yeah.
All right.
So this last little bit here.
Oh, we got our offsite Game Informer. Yep.
Yeah. We have XX Zach. Should I throw in the last name?
Nah, don't. You know,
XX Zach XX. These are his views on the game that I quoted him roughly. These are rough quotes.
being a man that gets a 10th prestige in every Call of Duty game. Here's some facts.
he
from
he
him.
was talking quick, so I had to kind of paraphrase a little bit. Not what Zach expected. Good thing in a way. Not like Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Most realistic Call of Duty. Not the best. No good maps in beta. Very sad. Fucking guns sound good. Fucking amazing. Looks the best out of any COD. Crossplay good. Rec console TikToks.
TikTards. Well, fuck it. Wreck the console retards. Who
Yeah,
cares?
there we go. Okay. The gun customization, very nice. Zach Likey. Almost identical to the real World War II. Ground war, very good. It'd be like Battlefield. So that is our offsite gaming expert, XX Zach XX. Those are his little...
And
Thank you
and
to
thus
our
the
Game
coverage
Informer.
of Modern Warfare.
yeah.
Yes. Thank
We-
you
so,
to the Game Informer.
This guy's saying it's good. You better believe him and just go ahead and, check that game out.
And you also best believe that we're going to be bringing you a fat revisit on this topic when the game gets fully released.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I've already pre-ordered it.
I think
I haven't. I don't pre-order
it's
anymore.
about time to move on to the big pile of shit for this episode.
Okay,
Yep,
boys.
yep.
Okay. We got any more Sody Pop in here?
Yeah, it's down there.
I might have to ask you to fetch me a fat Sody Pop.
Might
But
might be getting a little warm.
so we got It Chapter 2, the release of It Chapter 2. And not my favorite fucking film. Not my favorite fucking film, okay? Being someone who's got a pathological fear of clowns, this little fuckface of a clown in this movie did not scare me.
It's almost joke. Like, okay.
Hold
listen.
on. Oh, you just let me work my way through and we'll get to the talking points, dude. This little clown did not scare me, dude. Very, very overused in the film. Very, very tropey use in the film. Too fucking long to give a shit about. Anyways, let's get to the straight up statistics of the matter. Metacritic is rating this movie at a 58% with an average critic rating of 58% as well. Rotten Tomatoes rates it at a 67%.
Now, what do you think about those ratings? Because I think those.
they're
good.
spot on.
Yeah, I think those are spot on ratings.
I
too.
don't think they're too high. I don't think they're too low. They're very spot on. Detailing it against the It Chapter 1 reviews, Metacritic giving it about 10 points higher at 68%, and Rotten Tomatoes giving it about 20 points higher at 86%. So you see a movie at 86%, that's like a good blockbuster average for a movie. You know, if it did good, it's a blockbuster hit. It's going to get an 86 to 100%
Absolutely.
rate. You got very few films that have like a 99%, like Avengers Endgame's up in the high 90s, like Dave Chappelle's New Special is high up in the 90s, all that shit. Now, only used a $79 million budget, which kind of makes sense to me because
Hold
it
on.
was...
Let's just fucking put a staple in that for a second.
No, I've got a...
Only used $79 million budget. That is a massive fucking budget.
No.
Think about...
No, it's not.
When you're thinking in terms of horror films or psychological thrillers, this budget is in the top top 80%. Like they got a really insane budget for a horror film. Like,
hold on. Yeah, this is it, right?
oh yeah, like
Now,
it should have been much better.
with what you saw, what would you say the first... This is a 3-hour fucking movie. What would you say the first film's budget was?
The first film's budget was probably hold on. They didn't split it up into 2 movies, right? There was all in one really long film, right?
No.
It was released as 2 separate films.
What?
The original.
No, I'm talking about the first chapter.
Oh,
that came out 2 years ago.
Okay, the first one probably about the same.
Okay. So $79 million on this one that just came out. It's grossing about $285 million box office at the moment. It Chapter 1 only had a budget of $35 million, Ethan.
Yeah, so half the budget.
Half the budget, and made almost $700 million at the box office.
Now, I don't want to throw any shade, but I think part of the film that made it that much better was that it was child actors. Oh my God! If you go back and you watch it Chapter 1, and then you go and you watch it Chapter 2, and you just look at what the actors really gave it. Holy shit, man! Those kids were in it way more than those adult actors were.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. So, very good kid actors in It Chapter 1. Everyone knows It Chapter 1's a good movie, okay?
It was good, yes.
My resolve is in this movie. I've seen I've seen multiple people saying, "Oh my God, It Chapter 2 was scary. It kept me on the edge of the seat the entire time." At almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
The movie, okay? It keeps pouring exposition down your throat until you're fucking choking, dude. Constant flashback scenes. Constant, like, they shot shit at the first movie's time of filming. You can see it where they're like, go back. The kids are the same fucking age, even though they're like 16 now. So you know it wasn't filmed a year and a half ago in production, you know?
Yeah.
It's all recycled from shit they used from the first film, which is, good filmmaking tactic, I suppose. If you want to do a flashback back to your kid actors, you probably can't have them looking 15 years old. Yeah. So they had a good amount of forethought on that. But holy fuck, dude. The whole setup for the movie, the token gathering part.
Fuck me. That's what killed me. That is what fucking killed me.
That is fucking monotonous.
That is like, I don't even care if this is fucking true what I'm about to say. It feels like it's half the movie.
Oh, it's even more than half the movie. I want to say it took up the most time.
But that's the thing, though.
Oh my God.
I honestly...
Boring.
In all reality, I feel like that portion of the movie probably wasn't too terribly long, but it was so boring that it felt like it was fucking forever.
Maybe. Who knows? But it literally felt like it was most of the movie.
The director said there's an hour that has been cut out of this movie.
Really?
There's been an hour cut out of this movie.
I don't know what the fuck else they could have done.
And I saw multiple critics. I saw multiple people who have given this a positive review saying they want the movie to be another hour long.
So you're saying had they not cut, it would have been a 4-hour long.
It would have been a 4-hour long movie, and this director wants to create a 7.5 hour long super cut of both movies.
Jesus Christ, dude! I was telling Preston this the other day. There was a point in the movie, and it was kind of right around the token gathering part where I was almost like, okay, I kind of want to leave now.
I told him on the way out. I almost leaned over to one of you two and was like, hey, I'm fucking bored.
And that's kind of saying something because I almost never walk. I've never walked out of a movie, actually.
I wasn't conscious of it, but once I
You were having a hell of a time. Let me just be honest with you. No, Ethan Grimm.
Dude, I know. When I came out of the movie, it was the ending that got me. And I was like, wow, like it was a wholesome ending to a weird movie. But when I look back on it, there was a point in the token gathering where I was just like, man, is this fucking movie gonna end at some point?
You were much more excited during the film than I was, and I know because I sat next to you.
Yes.
You made a lot of noises, man.
Now, when the use of camera angles, the cinematography of this film is really
I get to
really
that.
good.
Yeah, it was shot good.
Oh yeah, very very well thought out shots. Now my qualms are with the adult actors. I think the best actor out of all of them was Bill Hader.
He was for sure the most interesting.
Oh, his character developed the most. His character was like his character just had the most memorable moments out of every single one of them. And it's just like I don't know what the takeaway from the film was because it
Nothing.
because it was just
Nothing.
so goddamn long. Like I can't if at the end of that film once I walked out, I there was so much information and like just so much shit that happened all so fucking fast.
No,
it's too hard.
It didn't happen fast though. That was the thing.
No,
it was a little bit happening 6 times in a row. It was the same thing happening with 6 different people, and it happened the same way 6 different times over the course of 3 fucking hours. It was,
Yes,
and then
but it was
and then when
all-
they were
it was
facing
all
off against Pennywise, it was always 2 people with 2 people with 2 people. So that happened 4 times.
No, and here's why I think
it was the
that-
same thing
Yeah, it's
over
the same
and
thing,
over
but it
and
was
over
it
again.
was all supposed to be unique information to the character, and they didn't portray it right. They
No,
weren't
correct.
able. So
It
there
was the
this-
same. It was the same object needed to be overcome.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they all overcame it the exact same way.
Exactly. So there
None
wasn't
of
there
them
wasn't-
failed at it.
Yeah, there wasn't a point where you felt like there was a lot of character development because you just saw each character go through the same thing over and over again. There wasn't enough. So, yes, they all had to go get their token, but their tokens were different, all right? That's cool and all, but
No.
they're but
I'm
yeah,
not giving this movie any favors, dude.
but it wasn't like there wasn't enough there. There wasn't enough to make it attention grabbing. It wasn't it's just like they tried to take too much and tried to cut out all of the things that made it such a good film, because in the first one it's hard to explain this just because of
The whole thing, the whole movie, the whole setup.
yeah.
The first film is a setup for this film, being that it is the conclusion.
Yes.
All of it is set up. It's exactly like fucking Avengers, except Avengers was fucking cool while it did it.
Pretty much.
They set up this whole entire fucking thing, this monster, blah, 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 this enemy that doesn't seem to be able to be overcome. You know, I tried killing it the first time. We thought it was dead, Avengers, and then it wasn't dead, and we killed it again, and it
Yeah.
wasn't actually dead again. That even happened in the fucking movie. They thought they killed it, and then what do you know? It came back alive again. It was the anticlimax, which I fucking hate. I fucking hate anticlimaxes.
Something I brought up to Preston, which I think is a big one, especially for this one, is that I feel like what some horror movies fail to realize is that the moment you start showing the antagonist too much,
Yeah,
That's why
is the moment they stop being
talk on
scary.
that.
I think they showed him too much, and when they did show him, he was a little too ridiculous.
Yes.
That is exactly why The Bye Bye
So-
Man and The Babadook are great horror films.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to touch on. That is one of the biggest, one of the biggest differences between It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 is the use of your enemy in the film. So in It Chapter 1, there's only a handful of scenes where before the group of kids actually know what's going on, there's literally just a handful of scenes where you actually see the clown
Yeah.
Well, that's because the whole film is spent
trying to figure
like
out
the
what's
kids.
going on.
The kids all have their own individual event, but it's not Pennywise. It's his because it's the whole. I did look up. I did some little backwards research on this.
Yeah.
So the whole law of Pennywise is that he's a fucking interdimensional being, yada yada yada, created. Have you seen the movie The Dark Tower? I watched it last night just for this
No, I
podcast.
haven't.
So
I've watched it.
The Dark Tower explains how like it is in the center of the world, and off of every branch of it is all of everything, basically. And in the center of that is the life and all that. And Pennywise and his immortal being, the turtle with the elephants on its back holding up Earth and all that, is a fucking their enemies and whatnot. And when he came in, blah blah blah, he's just fear personified.
Yeah.
And so giving him his all like they were setting up their interpretation of Pennywise and how they were going to overcome it, explain it to their friends, and then they group up and then they just fight Pennywise.
Yeah.
They don't have to make anything interesting like they have to do in the second film.
Yeah.
Because instead of them all figuring out who Pennywise is, they already know who Pennywise is. So the only thing left for them to do there is just have them figure more shit out about themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they left themselves no room to fucking play.
Well, and here's the thing. The what they tried to do with the film, and it's very obvious, is early on in the film, like very early on, I want to say within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the film.
You be careful if you walk up upon my point, boy.
I haven't read any of this, so I don't know. But in the very first 15 minutes of the film, I forget what the black guy's name is in the film. What's his name?
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
So he explicitly.
No, it's not Mike. That's the white kid. That's the young white kid.
It is.
It's
honestly,
Matt or Matt. I don't know.
I had a hard time keeping track of their names in this one for
same.
whatever reason. I think just because I don't know.
But in the very beginning of the film, once they all get together, one of the first things he says is that Pennywise is stronger than he's ever been before, right?
And he was a pussy in this film.
Hold on. Now,
saying.
obviously, they're gonna try. They want to make that an unconscious thing that they keep throwing at you. So how they do that is by trying to show him more, and that's the difference between the films. Is so in the first one, in It Chapter 1, hold on,
my ass off over here.
But just think. So in It Chapter 1, he's obviously not as strong, so he can't personify himself and show up as much.
Yeah, but the fights he's in, they lose,
Exactly,
making him
shows
much
him progress.
more powerful in the
gets
first
him-
film than he is in the second.
Exactly. And so when they they probably thought, like, how are we going to be able to personify the fact that he is stronger than he was when they were kids?
They wanted to fuck
And
with
they
reality.
wanted to, exactly. And I think they went about it the wrong way. I don't think the way to express his power was to show him more, or to, like, the whole thing where the zombie, right? Where
Yeah.
it's the dude's friend.
Yeah, you literally had to be like, "Hey, what the fuck was that?"
Yeah,
It was him.
It was apparently that's it. Even like that's a personification of it.
So it is him.
But
Like
it's
it's
like-
just him in that form.
Bro, and that's just like, what the fuck is going on? Why would you even?
You wouldn't know that if you like had never been like, okay, because the first movie doesn't explain it can be whatever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
literally.
It takes the thing of like your worst fear or your like most biggest like your largest insecurity.
Yeah, and they literally. I leaned over to Preston like when this happened.
You're
The
like,
fucking. I was like, what the fuck?
They got motherfucking zombies in this film?
Yeah, I was like, when the fuck did they add zombies into this film? And I was just like, they don't. They're not able to portray the ideas correctly. And it's very obvious.
Funny, we keep talking about how they were shoving down exposition, and I'm fucking choking from it during the movie. But the only thing they didn't provide fucking exposition of was goddamn how it can be anything.
Literally, yes, literally.
And that doesn't even make fucking sense, because if it's alive, then it's playing an undead creature, which is already fucking dead.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think
yeah.
I think they could have just done a lot better had they, because I mean in this one, in chapter 2, the only time when I was even kind of like slightly felt uneasy about it was when like
the balloon. That was my thing.
well, like for me it
Oh
was
my
like when he was
God.
off in the shadows and you can just kind of barely see him, like the girl under the bleachers and that shit. It was
Yeah.
just
That was
kind of
another good
kind of
one.
like
So there's a couple of things that they did right in my opinion, and that was the grandma in the beginning.
that. Yeah, that was kind of
actually
weird. That was
was
weird.
actually fucking terrifying.
The grandma?
Yeah.
It wasn't because they put it in the trailer for me.
Well, in the trailer, yes, but
I
even in the
hate
trailer, and then there was
it was
another
better in the
thing.
trailer.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say, but there was another thing that I really liked. It was the interaction between so obviously the grandma thing was cool. Oh, it was the fucking Stanley's fucking head. That shit was fucked up. When it grows
Oh.
those fucking legs, those spider legs, and starts jumping around.
I thought that was kind of stupid.
That was
did.
one of the only other ones where I felt like, had it not been so over the top, it might have worked really well.
That was one of the things we said to each other when we got out of there, was that they, for whatever reason, played a lot off of like the spider leg type shit in this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Spider leg type
very,
shit,
very
like
obvious.
very
In the-
like amorphic creature.
In the beginning, when they were at the restaurant and they had like that little fucking like human baby
that was
looking
fucking
bug
stupid.
with
That
wings.
was where I was
Yeah.
out. I literally fucking punched out right there, and I was like, I knew the
know.
whole
I
film
was
was
like,
going to be a
this is
whitewash.
fucking stupid.
Whitewash, wrong fucking
like
word.
this
but-
isn't scary. This is just ridiculous. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it was pretty over the top.
This does not fit in this situation.
I did want to bring something up with you, because I know you didn't read this, but I talked to Hunter about it earlier. Why the fuck do the gay guys get beaten up in the beginning? They literally served nothing to the story and didn't prove or have any exposition for
Yeah,
leading events.
I have
They had
no
a
idea.
fucking... For people who go see this film, they fucking had two gay dudes get fucking maliciously beaten up by this group of fucking bully kids, like very gutturally. Like you're seeing punches make what looks like contact on just a couple, a gay couple, and then one of the gay guys gets thrown over the fucking side of the bridge and then gets eaten by Pennywise. That the only purpose it serves is to show that Pennywise is there again. But they had a fucking terrible image. Like, why would you even do that?
Yeah, it
you
totally
could just show
took away. It totally took away
and
from what
then
it was supposed
5
to
minutes
be.
later, they do the same exact thing with a fucking woman getting beat. And there's the only thing it does is to set up like a jump scare. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna show a couple gay guys getting beaten up and a fucking woman getting hit by her fucking husband just to set up a jump scare and to have her lead into going somewhere else? Like she didn't receive the phone call beforehand. Mm-hmm. She received it after the beating. So if the beating was to convince her to go, then you would want the phone call before and have her be on the seat.
Yeah.
Not just, okay, well, my husband just used me as a goddamn washcloth against his fist, you know. I guess I'll go.
No, she got beat up before or after the phone call.
Well, regardless.
Because she walks out of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, and who are you talking
like,
to, Mike or Max or whatever?
Who's Mike, huh?
But
why you going on fucking
it's
other
still
guys?
the stupidest fucking motivation to give to someone.
Yes.
Like, okay, she was only good to get beaten up because she got beaten up in the first film by her father, and she gets beaten up in the second one. All of her motivations are driven by her getting fucking beaten. And if they are adults, why do they keep acting like they're fucking kids? Like they all follow the same mental pathway. It's like
they didn't grow up at all.
I'm a risk management assessment, or I'm still fucking cracking jokes, and I'm, shit like that. It's just like, it makes no fucking sense. You tried taking the first movie, elevating it up 50 fucking points, made it 3 hours long. It's a CGI fuckfest, dude, and it's not scary.
Yeah, they made all of their characters out to be like these arrogant pricks who were not like self-aware at all. Like they were just completely oblivious of their own actions and how they infected other people around them.
I didn't even think about this, but seeing as they didn't really remember the event, maybe they couldn't grow up from it, and maybe that's some film writing tactic to be like, hey, since they forgot everything, they didn't learn anything from it.
Maybe.
And if that takes me now to figure that out at fucking 8:30 at night, 3 days after I watched the film, then that's a fail in my book, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it here. It ends up feeling not feeling like a horror film. Rather, it ends up feeling like a long episodic adventure movie about a bunch of idiots with one funny guy, Bill Hader, trying to kill a clown that can't hurt them if they just think about it.
Yeah, that was one of the things that actually irritated me.
Oh, he's so fucking powerful. But the only thing they have to do in the original TV movie, the ending of the whole fucking 4 or 5 hour long event they had was the little kid being like, "Oh, my inhaler is battery acid," and they fucking, and then they do it in the other one where it's like, "Okay, if we think we can kill him, we can kill him," and then this one, if we think we can kill him, we can kill him. That was like, what's different? You didn't sauce it up, and you really didn't make him that much more powerful. Like, he kills someone, but he also kills someone in the first movie.
Yep.
It's no different. It's just with adults. Mm-hmm. I did say, though, very well shot.
Mm-hmm.
Very well produced. That is possibly one of my favorite transitions in a movie. They're all at the carnival right after Pennywise eats the first one of the men from the gay couple, and they pan up to the stars, and then it goes in on the stars, and then the stars turn into puzzle pieces, and then you're underneath a glass table looking through one of the puzzle pieces.
Yeah, I think
that was brilliant.
That is absolutely just fucking insane and brilliant transition.
Quick little side thing that you had mentioned to me that I didn't really pick up on, but you said that before Pennywise is ever in a scene, actually there's always like a little thing that...
So I looked it up just when I was writing these notes earlier today, even in It Chapter 1 and this It Chapter 2, anytime he is about to do an event or something is about to manifest, and I saw it on the very first one, and I thought about it going in because I knew that this would happen. Anytime he's present or anytime an event happens, you will see Pennywise imprinted somewhere, or he will be in a picture frame or whatever.
Yep.
The very first one that happened, and I don't think either of you caught it because I leaned over to Ethan,
I did not.
And I was like, hey, but they went really fast by this fucking concrete wall, and it was just like a monochrome, like Pennywise shadow on it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the scariest moment. That was the scariest moment of the film. And that was the first 5 minutes. I do say here that, the first 20 minutes and the last 45 minutes. You can make that.
Dude, that final battle was not even scary. It
No,
was
I'm
absolutely
comparing
fucking
it
over.
like of my
okay.
favorite, like of the best parts or what I think are the best parts.
Dude, the final battle
the
was a complete joke in my opinion.
The final battle.
it was
well,
kinda
okay,
weak.
it was a complete. Yeah, because we've already established that he's fucking weak. He's stronger in the first movie, and because he doesn't get defeated nearly as much as he does in the first movie as he does in the second movie. They know now the fucking trick is okay. No baddies, no baddies. They think they're shut with their fucking eyes and they're like, no, he's not real, and he goes away.
Yeah.
He's a complete fucking pussy. Now, I forgot where I was going. I just fucking blew the walls open with that one.
Well, the part that fucking irritates me the most is literally, fucking. They go through so much fucking shit, and one of their fucking friends dies. He fucking dies, and then they decide, oh, you know how we're gonna defeat him? We're just gonna say you're a fucking clown, and that's all
You're
you
a
are.
clown.
You're a clown.
You're
and that
a
fucking
clown.
kills him. Even though he's literally like, they established this whole lore to him where he's got the fucking deadlights and shit, and he can fucking, he's just so
saying the whole
goddamn
time,
powerful.
He's like, I'm a world destroyer. I destroy all this shit. And they're like, you're a clown. He's like, oh, fuck.
Literally. Are you fucking kidding me?
It doesn't even make any sense because in all of the fucking movies, pardon me, in the first one that I'm talking, because in conjunction, you know,
Yeah.
they're like they've constantly been like, okay, yeah, Pennywise the clown, like to his face, okay, yeah, you're a clown, and that didn't help them in the first movie. He was a fucking clown when he killed. I don't get that because he takes the thing of the form that he's in. So if you call him a clown, he should go from 8-legged giant Pennywise to regular Pennywise who you've been battling, not whatever the fuck that was at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that fucking pile of gloop.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. In summary, in summary, I'm giving this bad boy a fat ta-ta there, retard. You didn't follow Proto, buddy. You're done.
Didn't follow Proto. Yeah, it was overall. I think it was all right movie.
Hey,
I was disappointed, man. I just... Because
The first one was way
I really enjoyed the first one, and I was
Yeah.
just really hoping that... I was hoping, above all, it would at least be scary, and it failed even there.
Want to do a little improv with me real quick?
Okay.
Invite me to go see it, Chapter 2.
Okay. Oh, hey, Preston. I've been watching the trailers
Yeah,
for...
what's up?
Been watching the trailers for It Chapter 2. I just want to know if you would like to go see it.
Ta-ta there, retard. That's what you tell all your friends who ask you to go see it, Chapter 2. You go, ta-ta there, retard. Don't see it. Don't waste your...
Yeah, don't go waste
No.
your money.
Whatever your movie ticket costs, I
If you
swear
wanna
to
go
God,
see-
you're not
if
going to
you
get it
really
back.
want to go see a scary movie, see fucking Lights Out, see fucking...
There are
like,
a
so many
plethora of
fucking-
movies
so
that are
many
far
good
more
movies.
terrifying
We
than
got,
this
we got a
one.
website to show you all the movies you want. You DM us personally on YouTube. We'll get you all the movies you want.
This episode
Don't-
sponsored by...
After. But seriously, I wholeheartedly don't recommend this movie. I think the critics are on point. It's a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
You go for the 20 minutes, you stay for the last fight scene, and it's not as rewarding as
Yeah.
it could be.
You know, watch the first half hour, take a nap.
Yeah,
wake
maybe
up,
leave,
wake
come
up for
back.
the end.
You could literally
Also-
go have a
also-
nice fucking dinner.
I
Yeah.
just want to
It-
fucking say, okay, I'm gonna fucking spoiler alert. Bill Hader's character,
sorry.
Bill Hader's fucking character is a god. He's gay, and it's really obvious from the very beginning of the film because of how often they just fucking drop him saying faggot. He says faggot like so many times in the beginning of the film that it's so obvious that they're gonna make him
But yeah,
transition.
because then they had the scene when he was a kid in the arcade and all that.
Literally.
I just thought you called his character the worst by calling him gay.
No.
I did follow that plot line, but
It's just
my last point.
infuriating the way that they did it because the whole idea is that like it should be a fucking like him discovering this thing, and they don't like they take that away. They strip the ability of his character to earn this thing when they throw it in your face that often.
But yeah, one of the last points of the film was he was my favorite part of the film.
Yeah, he was.
he
I
was.
just think the character development could have been like a little better. His character was the best, but like I think they went.
sorry,
I think
his
they went about it wrong.
Fuck all the characters and how they develop and how they interact within this movie and against the protagonist. Him and his performance is what.
Because I mean, it's Bill Hader. You got to have him hitting some comedy, saying some shit.
And then that's what
does too.
It's Bill Hader. He does it well. It's
on the obverse of that though. That is what gives it. Everyone's over like, Pennywise, we're going against the interdimensional demon, they're all like laughing and gaffing the whole time, is what takes it from a horror film to a thriller adventure fucking.
Yeah.
It is not a horror film.
No, it really
it's a
isn't.
mystery thriller something, but it's not a horror.
They pretty much
film.
just took Scooby Doo and made an adult rated R version.
Essentially, I mean, it's not far off.
Well,
and we just watched Doobie Scoo the other day. So.
we did just watch a Doobie Scoo. I liked it better than It Chapter 2. Hey, that rhymed.
So did I.
But yeah, as we come to the close of a 1 hour and 23-minute podcast, we'd like to summarize the fact that you shouldn't go see the movie. You shouldn't trust the CIA.
You should
Modern
play.
Warfare. I won't go as far to say buy. Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
You wouldn't go as far to say buy. Yeah.
I would say you should keep an eye out for it. You should keep your peepers looking at it. I think it could potentially be a very worthwhile game to purchase.
You better get that point in because I'm winding up for this bin.
I was winding up for your wind up.
This been Preston.
This been Hunter.
This been Ethan.
And this has been another episode of Up in the Air,
an American podcast.
Goodbye.